What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Travis. Of course, this is TWA Motorsports, and today we are going to see if we can fix our key issue. You guys saw in the last video, so this is going to be a tumbler replacement. We're almost like a rebuild, to be real honest with you. In the GMC Sierra pickup, the NNBS that we bought. Look, guys, I know this truck has a ton of stuff, but you know, it's kind of fun. I like to tinker with this stuff. In the last video, guys, we installed, and I've left this off, but we installed the driver information center, which looks really nice. And now we have a brand new vent for one thing, but we have the functionality to go between tire pressure sensor and whatnot. And guys, eventually I think I will add steering wheel controls to this as well. So look for a video down the road. It'll be a while before I do that. There's a lot of other stuff I want to do first. But in this video, we need to get the tumbler out of this thing. So GM makes a replacement piece, and I will list this in the description like always, guys. Look, can you go to a parts store, hardware store and get a new key tumbler? Yes, you can. Here's the downside. You're gonna have to replace, you can get them with multiple keys. So like, let's say you had a driver and a passenger side lock, like this truck. This only has it on the driver's side, but you'd have to buy two. And then if you ever lost the key, how are you gonna know which one you had, right? So you don't. Well, I would like to keep the original key that matches the VIN number to this truck. In case you ever lost a bunch of keys and just went to GM, they can cut keys off the VIN. So, but this is the issue that we're running into. So see, you fight with this thing. Sometimes it takes like 5 minutes to get this truck started. So we're gonna see if we can fix that today. Guys, in the last video, when I did the driver information center, I had to pull this panel off in order to get this piece clipped back in with feeling comfortable without breaking it. In this video, I went ahead and left that off. I'm actually filming this on the coattails of that video, but you can see it down there. There's only 3 clips that hold it. So you take this off, you take these 2 clips out, but there's a 10mm that goes in your hood, or sorry, your e-brake release. You have 2 Phillips that come in from the bottom. So that's all there is to taking that off. That's what you see over there in the floor. Now, here's what we need to do. We need to pop the hood. The very first thing we need to do, guys, is we need to unhook the battery on the negative side, because we're gonna have to turn this and we don't want it trying to start while we're turning it. So let's go do that real quick, unhook the battery, and then we'll be right back in here. Now that we have the battery unplugged, well, here's what we need to do next. We need to remove this shell from the outer sides of the steering column. So you can see you've got an upper and a lower shell. So the very first thing we need to do is we need to grab this guy off there, and it may require 2 hands, but this pulls straight out. So that's your tilt mechanism. And I know there's probably not a lot of light down there, guys, but if you pull this straight out, I don't think I can do it with one hand. I'm gonna have to have both hands. Yeah, I'll get it off here and then we'll show you what we need to take loose on the bottom. See what I'm talking about? It just pulls straight out. So we'll lay this aside. And then on the bottom, sometimes there's Torx, sometimes there's not. You need to look up in these holes and see exactly what you need. I believe some of them, if they've been taken off before, a lot of times guys don't put them back together. This wire, I have a feeling, guys, I noticed in the last video, is running up to the radio for power, by the way, because they didn't use a good aftermarket harness. But I'm gonna go grab the tools we need to open this up, and then we'll get the bottom off, followed by the top. Well, mine had no screws, which is pretty common when somebody takes stuff apart. But all I did, guys, is pulled this straight down. You could see our clips are actually still there, which is kind of surprising. Not all of them are broken. So now that we've done that, we're gonna have to use where the lever used to be. We're gonna push this, lower this down, and then we need to pull the top off, which should be clipped on as well. There shouldn't be anything holding the top once the bottom's on other than clips. So you can see we got that loose. We're gonna have to get it loose from our shift boot. All right. So you can see we got that off there. Now we have access to where the key goes. So you can see this here. Look at this guy, this protector. Hopefully you don't have to take that off. Yeah, we don't have to take this off. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna have him help me here, but just because I'm holding the camera. So you're gonna turn it to the run position, like you're trying to start the truck. That's why we need to unhook the battery. And then while I'm doing that, he's gonna put that pick, he's got a pick in his hand. He's gonna put that pick in this opening right here. You guys see this hole right here? It's a very, very tiny hole. And he's gonna put that in there. And once he does that, you see the key release. And so now we can pull this key, well, Should be able to pull the key out with the tumbler. Ooh. Pull that let off. Let off. Pull that out. There we go. Well, we got it started. I'm gonna have him do it again. Put it back in there. It started to release. I'm wondering if this is gonna have to come with it. All right. It started to come out, guys. We may have an issue getting this thing out. I hope we don't have to drill it out. Go ahead and put it in there again. Ooh, we're so close. All right, we're gonna have to, I'm gonna have to put the camera down. We're gonna have to keep working on it here. So ultimately what had to keep happening is it looks like there was multiple areas where it was catching. So now we've got this apart, right? We need to go over to the bench and see if we can disassemble these keys. Now, are we gonna use these in the new one? I'm not sure yet. So it's just gonna depend on the wear. If I can't find their proper replacements in this bag, which it comes with all new slugs, they call them, then we may have to reuse our old ones, but hopefully it won't be like that. Now over here at the bench, we've got the key, and then I'm gonna pull all this stuff out that you can see all these different slugs. And I'm assuming they're labeled. Yeah, you've got a 1, a 4, so on and so forth. So we'll get all these laid out on the table here. These are new springs, and you're gonna see a little more of this as we go together, but we got a 5, a 3, a 2, got some oil or kind of grease to keep everything together. And we've got our new tumbler. And that's really what I'm hoping is going to solve our problems here. But anyway, you got instructions and it kind of tells you how to take stuff apart. So here's what I've done. I've taken the key out, and from the opposite side, so you can see there's 1, 2, 3 on this side. Carefully turning it over, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So what I'm going to do is from the opposite side, I'm going to start pushing these out. I'm gonna have to have something a little smaller, like a flat blade screwdriver here. And then once we do that, we're gonna grab this first one on the 4 side and we're gonna lay it here. All right, now I don't see oh, there is, the spring stayed in. If the spring pops out, it's not a big deal. We got new ones. So we're gonna go to the next one and pull it out. And we're just gonna lay these keys in the exact same way they came out. Hopefully that's making sense to you guys. Helps to have a pair of needle nose pliers. So once you get them pushed out, then you can go ahead and pull this loose. So there's the 4 starting from this way going this direction. That's important because you need to know that. The other ones, we'll start to push them out. And we're going to do the exact same method on this side. Man, they look really, really worn. So I'm hoping we can find a matching set. Because I don't know if they have numbers on them, and I don't know even if they did, if they may be so worn you'd never even know. And that's the last one. Now, like I said, you have springs. One flipped over on me. We're gonna see if we can see a number on these. I'm gonna clean them off, but I don't know if you guys can see those springs in there. There's springs in each one of these cavities. I'm assuming when we look at this one, the springs are probably not preloaded. They're not. So you can see the circle opening that we're gonna add the springs when we get to that point. But at this point, I'm gonna wipe these down and see if there is any kind of indicator on these that tells me what number I need to correlate them with, because I have no earthly idea, and they're really, really close. I'm guessing you could probably put them up beside each other and be able to tell what's what, and they do have numbers on them. Okay, so we've got they're little bitty numbers, 5. Let me see if I can get you guys that close and see if you can see this number on here. I don't know if it'll zoom in that close. You see that number right there? See that number 5, that number 4. So you do have the ability to grab, we're gonna grab new ones out of this group and start putting them in the new tumbler. So here's what we've got. They're all laid out now. We've got the matching ones based off the correlation of the numbers, and I've got them laid in the exact manner that they came out of this guy. So here's what we need to do. We need to open our springs, and once we open those, I don't know how easy those are gonna be to install, guys. They may be a ginormous hassle. They're little bitty guys. But I think what needs to happen, I don't know if we need to put oil on those as they're going in, but we've got our 4 side and we've got our 3 side. So what I'm thinking is we'll put oil on them after the fact. So I'm just gonna use my pliers to put the spring in. That actually went in pretty decent. We'll put the springs in all of them. And then what we'll do afterwards is we'll try to smear some of that. I don't know that I necessarily want to put it on at the same time we're going together with it. Guess we could try. And we're working our way exact same way we came apart. That's a tight fit. I don't have a lot of faith in that, guys. We're going to see together, though. Going all the way down. I really, really feel like we should probably pull these back out and put some of this, whatever this is, on them. They just don't slide in and out quite as good as they don't slide in as good as they slid out. Let's put it that way. So I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to push them back out. I'm going to put a little bit of that on each one of these as I go together with them, if that makes sense. I'll have him just put some stuff on it, just a little bit on each one. Maybe that'll just make me feel a little better and make our key nasty. Perfect. Yeah, that's way, okay. Do that. That's why that stuff comes with it. That slid in way easier. And be careful when you're tipping it over that they don't just fall out, but. So you guys see what's going on here. We're gonna put a little bit on each one of these, and then we're gonna duplicate this process on the other side. Oh, yeah, that's way better. And then hopefully we'll be able to put our key back in. That'll keep it all together. And hopefully it turns. We'll go try to stick it back in the truck and see what happens. Looks good. All right, now on the other side, we'll put our springs back in. I'm not going to make you guys watch any more of this, so we'll get these others loaded with some grease on them, and then we will go try it in the truck. So I'll tell you guys that you have to, I couldn't get the key to go in. So what I did was I went around and pushed the rest of the way in, like with the pliers, and once I did that, we're good now. Now, we don't know whether this is going to work, so let's go back over the truck and give it a shot. Back over here, we're just doing pretty much the opposite as what we did when we took it out, except get it lined up. So you can see we're lined up here. We're going to push it into place. Still pretty rough. I don't know, guys. Well, I'm wondering if my ignition, it's better. I'm gonna get a new key cut for this VIN, and we're gonna give that a shot too. It's definitely better because it didn't do that before. See that? Putting the key in. Still kind of got to waller it around a little bit, but oh, that's way better. At least you wouldn't get like axe murdered before somebody got to you. like before. It was pretty rough before. I'm gonna get another key cut though, and we'll give it a shot with the new key as well. But I'm gonna call this good for now. Definitely better. And what I'm gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and reassemble this stuff. I'm gonna clean it up off camera a little bit, and we're gonna get this stuff put back in place. I'd like to find the screws that hold the bottom in if I can. And it may not hurt, guys. I probably should have put a little more of that grease on that. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna yank this thing back out, and we're gonna put some more grease on the mechanism itself, on the outer. I think that'll just make life a little easier. It might make it turn a little easier and better. Got it all back together, at least up here, guys. I'm gonna clean, you guys know how I am. I gotta clean some of this stuff up, but we're gonna give it a shot. I hooked the battery back up. Probably won't start. I don't think I have the ground hooked up very well. I didn't love the way I hooked it up anyway, but yeah. All right, we'll hook the ground back up. It's gonna work, but look how much easier that turns. That is way better. Good news, bad news, guys. Good news is it is working better than it ever has. Check that out. Bad news is our battery's dead. And I never tested this before I started this whole process, so pretty sure the battery's been dead. This thing's been sitting for a couple weeks. The battery looks pretty old out there. I did get all this stuff back in place, so the Phillips on the bottom with the clips, and then the 10mm that goes into your brake release, I've got that back in place. Of course, we got this snap back together. You don't necessarily have to have the bolts, guys. I'm going to see if I can find some at a salvage yard so we can put this back together the way it's supposed to be, but it does snap together really nice. This is the hardest part of this whole operation, is getting this snap back together, to be honest with you. Just take your time, don't force it. And either way, we got to accomplish what we want. Like I said, I'm still going to cut another key, because this key, if you guys look at this, it's really, really worn. And I think a lot of our problem is coming from the key being worn. I still think this needed replaced, and it's a common issue, but we got it back together. We did also coat that before I actually pulled it back out. I told you guys I was going to do that. I pulled it back out, and we coated it with that grease that came with this kit. So yeah, it's not too hard, guys. I think you can do this, and then you don't have to change your lock on your doors or your tailgate if they have it. But I'm going to say we are effectively finishing this video. Like I said, I know there's been a couple short videos here lately, but wanted to show you guys, you know, some of the easy stuff, and I wanted to break them out so they weren't kind of all tied together if you were looking for a video of how to replace this. But now we've got the driver information center in there, got a new tumbler in place. Down the road, like I said, guys, we're going to add the switches on the side here for your radio controls, but that's going to be a while down the road. But in the next video, we are going to be getting wheels on this thing. Like I said, I've had them. I've got the lug nuts now. I'm going to show you guys what we got, and yeah, there's more to come, that's for sure. Anyway, if you guys did enjoy this video, please, like always, smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are not subscribed, go down there, hit the subscribe button. Of course, like always, ring that bell icon that notifies you every time we drop a new video, and stay tuned to see what we work on next.